Welcome back to the Duel podcast. It's your host, Alicia Sullivan, and myself, Megan Hines, where every week we talk the challenge, and we are continuing on with finishing out the season of the challenge Rider Dies. We have made it to the reunion, and this reunion was a hot mess. Um, it was giving Flavor of Love, it was giving I Don't Want to Be Here. It was a lot going on. We're going to get into all of that.
I mean, it's not New York on the reunion of Flavor of Love, but it definitely gave the energy of like Bad Girls Club.
Yes, yeah, it was a mix of different reunions. I was at one point I was gonna say this is giving off Bray Love and Hip Hop with some of these storylines with this this cast.
Where is Mona Scott? Okay, because this is like the a white ass love and hip hop.
Yeah. So, but we do have our one queen host, Maria Menounos, who's back, hosting the reunion. And first off top, she congratulates Devin and Tori on their win, who are kind of coordinating wearing gold. Go off, I guess. And we also have an announcement off top with Amber's pregnancy. And we already knew this. She posted about this back in December. But the cast knew this when they did the reunion prior to her announcement to everybody else in the world.
Congratulations to Amber. We found this out, like you said, in December, so celebrated Amber already. But congratulations to her. I hope she has a safe and healthy and happy pregnancy. And just when people are like pregnant, or like if anyone is like, oh my god, you're pregnant, just don't touch people's stomach. Like I'm not pregnant, but I would say just keep your hands to yourselves, okay? Like just I don't know, like some of y'all had bad vibes with Amber before, and I just don't like phony shit. And don't touch that lady's stomach. Don't touch her baby. Just leave her and her man. Let it be. Congratulate her, obviously, but just the energy and the vibe around it was just like, I don't know. I don't know if they said this off rip so that they would give Amber less slack, because you know how they love to hate Amber down to the ground. But yeah,
It was like we had people who went up to her like with sucking her belly and whatnot. Then had people who were just sitting in their seats looking very off put about this pregnancy announcement. Maurice. um and Fessel had a face. Devin had a face. Sure, so many people had faces about this. I'm like, y'all are weird and y'all need to get a grip on life.
I mean, we can go individually about what the problem is on each and every one of those people, but I won't. I will refrain for the baby's sake, because we want to have positivity over
Yes.
this. It's about the
Yes.
baby and the mom, and shout out to Chauncey too. He did 50-50 on that. So the family, congratulations. You know, y'all are all blessed. Happy Black love. I love to see it. But mm, hating assholes gonna hate. I'm just saying.
Yeah. And then we go into the hot seat for the Ride or Dies, starting off with Nani having some eggs about bananas. Granted, their friendship partnership is dysfunctional, as Nani has said before. She couldn't really pinpoint exactly what a direct egg is, but she was talking about how when like he cracks jokes, like she's used to it because she grew up with boys in her family, because she's used to that aspect of being partnered with Johnny. Um, it showed Olivia and Horacio and their little meltdown situation before they split partners. They grew up from that moment, so and they're still strong as ever as Reddy dies. They talked about Jordan's motivation techniques for his partners with specifically Anissa in this season. Um, and talked about if he crossed the line of anything. Did you think he crossed the line of his tactics?
At the end of it, when he had a comment about it's been 13 years, when she was sitting there literally getting medical attention, like at that point, I don't know why she ain't duff him in the face, but yeah, like I get the motivation and trying to be, I guess turning in the negatives into positives and all that stuff sounds great and that's fine because it seemed to work with Anissa this season. But don't act like you don't make sly comments in the end of it and towards like the final going into that 100-hour situation of, all that they had to do. Like he was making comments and it was just like, dude, like if you didn't decide to go off track, she wouldn't be in a situation. Nonetheless, you're still sitting there making like remarks. It's just like he didn't really take response. And I enough of Jordan. I can't. I can't.
And Jack said he didn't mind Laurel's communication methods because he didn't mind it. Like it was coming from a place of love. And then we got to a partnership that was ruined from the jump in Johnny and Raven, because Johnny put a lot of attention on Nerese once they got in that house, and Raven wanted to have a more supportive partner, ride or die, in the house, and she couldn't get that from him. Whether or not like she wanted something more, at the end of the day, to her he wasn't supportive of her as a partner, and Nerese had to butt in with unnecessary stuff.
And this is the part of the show where I was just like, y'all just making Negroes look bad because I understand Raven and her side, what she was saying, but however, I just think that she needed to stop over explaining herself in the situation because it wasn't necessary. Like, at the end of the day, Johnny was a bad partner altogether. And this season was called Ride or Dies. And so when you are saying Ride or Dies, you're implying that this person is going to have your back no matter what and be supportive in no matter what the situation is. Whether or not you like them or not in a romantic way or platonic way, that does not matter. You need to have this person's back no matter what. And Raven was telling and explaining that to Johnny. She felt like that, and he really was just paying her dust. And Nerese jumping into the conversation when it had really nothing to do with her, it was just unnecessary. And I think the back and forth between Pick Me Nerese and Raven, it was just like it was enough was enough. And I just think Raven lost me too at some point when she decided to kind of pick at Nerese and how many men she was sleeping through in the house. It's like I get it. Nerese is not the last person that anyone needs to stick up for, but like don't try to make comments about like her promiscuity. I get she shouldn't be doing what she's doing, like she's a perpetual side chick. However, that's just that don't add to your argument. And then on top of that, she lost me with the argument when Nerese is talking about she got gold and she said she got bronze. I think she said she tried to mean platinum, but babes, like at the end of the day, you gotta be quick with it. You feel me? Like when you're in a reunion situation and you are having a back and forth with somebody, if you don't have a response, the best response is to just shut the hell up because now you just made yourself look even more crazy by making a comment that don't add up to what you was trying to say. Like if you was trying to have a comeback, you should have came back. You went somewhere else with it where it didn't need to
Yeah.
go. And I just think that that's where Raven had lost me in this whole back and forth situation. It was unnecessary for Nerese to jump in and talk like
Nobody was talking about you and Johnny. We were talking about Raven and Johnny and their partnership. We can get to you putting yourself in people's relationships forever, but that's not what the topic is. This is about them as ride or dies, which they're not really ride or dies because they're not friends. But they were partnered. Stay in your own lane, first of all. And I did see that Raven did try to explain herself on Twitter. She was like, at least Brian still places. She was saying still up there.
girl, what is this poor pussy management? You don't want to be placed in third like Raven. You're losing me. You're losing. We are losing recipes. We are losing recipes. Ladies, it is not, no, absolutely not. Like being placed is good enough now. Are you girl?
No. And I like Raven. She has a good heart. She just needs to, she just needs to don't come back. Cause I don't think you're actually cut out for this. And I like her, but I don't think this is for her.
I I don't think this format was cut out for her. And I just think that she better not come back, because if she does, they're going to try to cast her and Johnny. And of course, Nerissa has been trying to get on the show for the past 4 years. So now that she has her opportunity, she's definitely going to be come back and get casted. So it's going to be again with these three in a situation. And I just don't want to see this, because light brights just, I don't care about this drama. Like this shit was this shit was so stupid. But the fact that like I don't like how Nerisse just jumped in, was trying to like play her, and she really didn't have like her comeback. Like I just wish that she was quicker with it.
Yeah. And on the Marie side, she posted on social um about she posted a clip. She posted that exact clip of what happened on TikTok. And I'm like, baby girl, this is like she's like, I stand in what my truth is. Okay? I get it. Do that. But man, you look bad in this too. Both of y'all can be wrong. But she don't accept that.
What is the truth? That she shouldn't have said nothing, and she was sleeping with people. Like we got that part of it. Like no one's
Yeah.
disputing that. You just should have never said anything to this girl. Like you made it about you, and we don't care. Like
That's what lost me. I'm like, we were not talking about you. We're talking about them two. If you are the situation, this is about them, not you. And she don't get that. She always wants it to be about her, and it's not about her.
I get that Johnny was sleeping with her or hooking up with her in the house,
And
but
after they filmed,
and after filming, yes. But it's just like, great, okay, cool. Like
he's
what
not.
else do you want from us?
He's not a prize, and she don't get that. He's not the prize. You have this all forever about you. That man is not the prize. He is not somebody that you actually want to be with. To be quite honest, he's been on all these shows he's been on. He's hooked up with many girls. Okay, every show he was with Sally on Love Island. He was with Girl from the UK on All Star Shore. Now he comes to the challenge and hooks up with you. You are not the You are not special. You're just a notch. That's it. He's not the prize. He is.
He's not. He's not. And I just let's do better, ladies. Let's just do better.
Yes. Okay, we're gonna move on. We spent a lot of time on this trio. We're gonna head towards the fan questions. Like they have an aspect of the Miss Union where they have to answer different fan questions. Sometimes they have to pull a dagger. That's some dagger moment, like one dagger moment this on this episode. But the first fan question was towards Fessy in his given name of Fessel being decision maker. And it was a question that he was given about the ladies in the house that he hooked up with, essentially. And he couldn't choose between Michelle and Laurel for hooking up or working with them in the game. Couldn't pick one for each. He's like, I don't know Colleen, so because she wasn't there, but sir.
What was he gonna do? They were both there, and he still probably wanted to smash both of them. So he's not gonna pick. It was a stupid question to begin with. Like it was just messy. Like they knew exactly what they were doing when they asked this question. By the way, I don't. Who is uh putting these questions in? Like,
Production. It's
right.
production.
So
Because we
let's
didn't.
stop acting like it's not Anthony and freaking in sound, or like, come on now.
Because I did not see a poll out there from the challenge like, hey, ask fan questions for the people at a reunion. Did not see that, okay? Unless they
Yeah.
tried to go through some comments. But come on now. It's giving Andy reading fan questions on reunion and on Watch What Happens Live. Please.
Facts. It's definitely giving Nancy, aka Nene, asked so and so. Like, come on now.
Yeah. And then we had a moment with Veronica versus Bananas. By proxy of the question towards Mariah about using bananas. And it ended up being Veronica versus Bananas for a moment, and he told her to stay in her place. How his business actually, because he knew she had some disdain for him. We all know like what happened, and she was alluding to some things, but people don't want to hear it.
Child, don't you know? We don't shy away from anything, but it's just like there are situations that have happened, and that 100% other people have been kicked off the show before, aka Kenny and Evan, and we've never seen them back. For obvious reason, there was a whole lawsuit that went behind it, and it was a whole situation. And a similar situation happened with Johnny, or a situation happened with Johnny, and Veronica was, basically saying like, "Hey, you've done some things that was very atrocious, despicable, and I know your game. Like, pretty much, I'm familiar with your game. Like, so you can't really say anything to me." And I think that also it's just like I feel like he was trying to be like rude to her, but he was trying to be like he was trying to mince his words because he understood probably the levity of what she could say, and he wasn't really trying to take it there with her. And Veronica, even though she's come back and she's been a little contained, I feel like Veronica still has that within her to go off. And so she really wasn't on long this season, but I really just think that he was trying to mince his words so that she doesn't get all riled up. But at the same time, it's just like, bro, things have happened and situations are known. They're out there. You can look them up. I'm not going to go into detail about them, but situations have happened.
Yeah, and it's also a constant pattern of seeing him hook up with wicked girls on the show, like Natalie, Kaylee, Morgan, and now Mariah. But Mariah is single now, but and whatever. So still, like we know what you're doing, sir, and you're not slick. So that's that. On that, then we got to the Michelle versus Laurel, Jay versus Jack fiasco, and also Michelle and Jay versus Jordan, which was a lot in itself, a little bit. But in a sense, Laurel said that Michelle is scared of her and won't admit it. Um, and then Jack wasn't really trying to mend fences with Jay, even after they left the show, because Jay was going to try and bring a camera to hang out, and Jack wasn't feeling it. And then overall, Michelle said about what happened on the show that she should have just owned up to her actions, and things would have kind of been better for them. So, yeah.
And I 100% agree. And I feel like at the time, that's exactly what we said, because girl, you made a decision, you got to stand on it. Like, it's nothing more or less to say about it. And I feel like it was a good thing that she owned up to it. She was saying that she was growing as a person, and that's, what she wants to do. She wants to learn how to just stand in whatever she says, and absolutely so. That's what you should do. I just think that Laurel, first of all, I forgot Laurel was on this season, bro. Like, the season was so damn long. I seen her and her little pink eyeliner friend. I'm like, bro, who are these people? Like, like I forgot y'all was on the show. Like the show was so damn like so drawn out. But nonetheless, I just Laurel. I don't know what it was like for this season or episode. I don't know if she was just being more shady because she had a situation that was going on with Fessy and also with Horacio. Like I feel like it was the men that they were hooking up with or she was hooking up with that like kind of compounded along with the drama that Michelle had brought on to the situation because it was really unnecessary and I feel like she was trying to read her but like the book was whack. Like it wasn't given and I feel like she really was trying to like be strong and trying to trying to read her down and it just was not given at all. Like I wasn't really feeling this version of Laurel and I feel like if Michelle could really learn how to truly stand in her power, she will learn how to shut her down. Because and I'm not talking about like make her below. I'm talking about like stand up to the point where she can, make her point known and articulate it well enough where Laurel can be like mute. I feel like back when she had that little beef with Paula, Jen was able to do that at the reunion with Laurel. You know what I mean? And they had that moment, and Jen was able to read Laurel down. And Laurel was like, "No, I'm trying to apologize." She didn't really have nothing for her because she understood what was happening. I feel like Michelle is. I want to be kind to Michelle. Michelle, girl, you're not really giving that vibe. So I'm like, I wish somebody else would be able to read this girl down because first of all, I forgot Laura was on this damn season. Like when I saw her face, bro, it's just blowing mine because I'm just like, what are you doing here, Ariana? Like,
Yeah. I feel like I don't want to say Laurel is kind of past her prime with like the energy. Like we know what she brings. We know that she is gonna read somebody a little bit if when she's in the right. She's had those moments before. I think in this instance, it didn't work, obviously. Um, but Michelle is just needs some time. I don't know how much time, but she just needs some time.
I don't know how much time she got, but okay, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. And then on the I don't really care for the Jay and Jack stuff. They can figure that out together. Um, and then yeah, we get to the other main event of the season, which was Jordan's betrayal and backstab of Fessel. Um, in the event of him calling Tori a terrorist for trying to use their relationship in the game. And we got a whole argument again. And Tori was not. I understood Jordan's point. Just the way he went about it was trash, to be honest. But I understood his point, and he apologized.
Okay, I don't see it for these two, and I feel like uh the both of them was just getting on my nerves. I just think that she was explaining herself again, and we really didn't need that point. I think him even just apologizing to her and saying, "Hey, um, even though you came to me with so and so, I should have never said it. I should have never went back on my word." Okay, cool. Like, that's whatever. But I just think this argument is old between the both of them. I really am not excited to see them again on another season with each other, which we are, because it's just like, what else are y'all gonna bring? Like, what else are y'all gonna do more of this contrived drama between the two of them. I feel like it was one sided all season when Tori was just trying to really involve herself back in Jordan and trying to just make this whole situation happen. And it's like, it's either you've moved past it or you haven't. And I think that whole situation when it blew up with him calling her a terrorist, like it was just like, all right, it should be no coming back from this. Like at this point, we need to leave this exactly where it is because this is just getting ridiculous. Like the mayor really went up there and called her fucking like Saddam Hussein. Like this is crazy.
Yeah. Like, if you said this, I'm like, Tori should have just did her growth and just moved on. Caught, wash your hands of it. But they're still friends. And you still have big feelings for this man. How does that work, Sway? How?
The feelings I get, that's what she's working through her therapy, through whatever medication, like all that she's been working through that for however long she's been getting over it. I can't tell nobody how long they should be getting over somebody. That's not my business. uh I just think that bringing him on the show, that they knew what they were doing, and then her just like egging it on, it just made it even worse. And I just wish that we just drop it.
Yeah. Because seeing them argue for that 2 minutes was just unbearing. I really wanted to just fast forward through it because this is the same thing over and over again, that she wasn't listening. She was making about her when he was explaining his point. And I don't like to agree with Jordan. I don't. But I understood where he was coming from. And that's that. And then the other aspect of Fessy, like I don't know. Fessy is going Fessy. So that's that.
I don't got nothing for Fessy. We could talk about Mariah and her new face, because girl, what did she do?
No, everybody in new
What is
faces.
this?
Everybody in new faces. Mariah,
The only
Nani.
person who should have had a new face was Olivia, and she was getting her new face done prior to her breaking her nose, and I wouldn't have been mad had she come looking completely different. Like she looked kind of the same. She just had her hair color changed and a little bit more filler and eyeliner, but it's just like, Mariah, I want you to never go back to that doctor again because he did not do what he was supposed to do. It does not give. You try to pinch your nose and it's just, it made it even worse. I feel like Mariah was very pretty. But I don't know her original face. I don't know what that looks like, but the face that I saw on the season, I felt like she looked fine. Like she looked pretty. It was okay. And now, baby, that's not it. It's not the one and it's not the two. I need you to get a revision from the doctor. Like, it looks so bad.
I have no words. No words. People are also talking about Nani got her lips done too to to
To
match the
fill up her
teeth.
teeth. And it's just like, that she should have been did, but she clearly had just went to the doctor probably like a week prior and her lips were still swollen because it was still like all of her face gave me anxiety when I see it. And I was like, what is this face? Like, off the rip, they turned the camera to her on first go. And I said, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. No. That wasn't it.
But to double back to Fessy and Mariah, they made it known, like on here, that they met through Instagram. She left him on red before he went on Big Brother. When he got off Big Brother, got the blue check. He slid in DM again, and she responded, and that's how they became, and that's how their relationship started. And I'm just like, okay. But we knew this, like, that they only met on the internet. But she did clock him. Like, she was like, you're only my friend when it's convenient for you.
Which is true.
So, and at this point, I think they're not friends. So, good for her.
Stand on it, sis. I just need you to go to the doctor. That's it.
And then we go to the 100-hour final montage from Olivia's broken nose to Anissa's fall, hurting her knee, to Bananas and Nani basically quitting, and Devin and Tori getting their win. Um, for Devin and Tori, they said it's been a long time coming, 7 seasons both of them. And Bananas and Nani, they kind of left each other's own devices in that puzzle. And that was, like I said on episode, like that was their downfall. So yeah, and like we said, also it was very anticlimactic. So it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it last week. That's just what the final was, and it didn't give anything. I mean, we could just move on to them talking about them helping people on the final or in eliminations, and how people were like, it's a technique,
Oh wait,
and how, yeah, go
real
ahead.
quick before we get to that, I just want to say production will pay for their crimes because Olivia could have died. That's
Yes.
it. I just want to mention
Yeah,
that.
Olivia did say that if it hit her in another wrong spot behind, like it could have caused her blindness and she could have died. So will they pay for their crimes? No, because they're still on air. I mean,
Yeah.
that's just their day in court has not come. However, she could have sued them, but she didn't.
Yeah.
But God bless, and I'm glad that she's okay
Yeah.
now. Um, yeah, I think that the elimination thing came up, and we've been talking about it for the past couple of seasons, where people have been shouting and helping. The peanut gallery has been shouting from the stage, essentially, to help whoever their friends are, whoever they are aligned with in the house. And when Jordan basically said how it's a technique that, people are using because if you know somebody in the house, or you're friends with somebody, essentially, like, it's just to help them. And I think that Jay Michelle, it was brought up mainly because Jay Michelle had one specific elimination where they needed to communicate and they couldn't hear each other because Jordan was screaming so loud for Olivia and Horacio that he couldn't hear Michelle, and vice versa. And I think with this situation, and Anissa over there saying, yeah, it's a technique. Like, girl, shut up, please. Like, you are the last person to talk about a technique. Like, ma'am, girl. Anyway, I just think that this whole it's a technique and it's used for people's advantage. This really was not a thing like years prior. And
Mm-mm.
there were times where TJ was telling people like, yo, chill out, don't say nothing at all. Or it was like they went into another situation where another part of the arena, whatever it was called at the time, they went into another part of the elimination. They did the elimination, and the person came back who won, and that was it. And you have to just move on from there. And so I think that now, because we've seen the progression of the show in the last couple of years, and how people are more friendly with each other, they know each other, they're more aligned with each other, whatever the situation may be, it's easier for people to just be like, yeah, we can just yell out and, help whoever we want to help. But I don't think if they were in that situation, they would want to hear that same thing. Like, it's a lot of double standards in the situation because they are on the other side of this alliance, because they have been there for so long. There's going to be people that's always going to be up on the stage in the peanut gallery that's going to help them. So people like Jordan, Anissa, Tori, Johnny, Nani, whoever it is, that they have so many people that on their side, they're gonna help them no matter what. So it's like I don't want to hear that argument from them talking about it's a technique when you have people who are coming in the house who are newer into this, like Jay and Michelle, like rookies who come in the house, and they don't have people who's gonna yell or scream for them. If you're gonna do that, make it fair and just shut the fuck up. Like it don't you don't everybody don't need to be screaming about what to do. And the one that really took me out the most was not when Jordan was screaming for Olivia and Horacio. It was literally when Laurel told everybody, yo, shut up, be quiet, and started helping. Bro, like, how are you telling people around you that's not even a part of it, by the way, to shout and help somebody on during an elimination? Like, that's where I was just like, this season, I've had enough of this. And I feel like they either need to remove them from the setting of the elimination so they can't see it at all, or they need to just go back to the way TJ was just telling them to shut up and production was telling them to be quiet. And that was it. Because it just doesn't add up and make any sense and doesn't seem any way, shape, or form right for people to be yelling and they can't hear their partner or they can't have a fair opportunity to even think about what's happening. That's not technique. Like, that's foolishness.
Yeah. I totally agree because I'm like, as a viewer, it's very annoying to see people yell for somebody and put the odds in their favor. Essentially, I'm like, can someone have a fighting chance at least? Like, they don't even have let some people have a fighting chance, and it's like, I don't want to see just a group of people just bombard an elimination when they're not in it. And okay, one also thing, I think Narelle made a side comment too, and I was like, "Sir, please be quiet. I don't need you to jump in this conversation because we like they're like, oh, we've been doing it forever. Y'all have been doing this for last couple seasons. Like, not every challenge has had people look at the challenge, and I'm like, are y'all stupid? But they are stupid. Um, but just like I'm tired of seeing this. And that's it. That's really it. Like you said everything that I was going to say. It's just very annoying because like putting it in the odds of people who we don't want to see on our television ever again is very annoying, and it's not pleasing to the viewer. Like now we have underdogs that don't have an actual chance, or they put the favorite in underdogs who were in the beginning of the season, Olivia and Horacio, again, but they put favorite behind them because they didn't like Turbo, and we get we get him coming up on the next episode, top of the show most likely, to address them. But they're like, oh yeah, we'll go against Turbo at any chance in elimination. I'm like, y'all are weird.
So the whole Turtle situation, nobody liked him in the house. Like, absolutely nobody. Everyone felt like he was weird and he was rude and standoffish and all this other shit. And I feel like Devin had a lot to say, by the way, when Turbo's name was brought up. And I just think that they really don't have that. Like, Turbo is certified. Okay. Turbo is literally certifiable. And I feel like if he was really going to be in that room, that gold jacket would have turned bronze because he would have been sweating and shaking in his boots if he was really come out there. But it would have been a different story. And they probably knew that he wasn't there in person. But nonetheless, I just think that Turbo's not going to be invited back. Turbo may not come back. And I feel bad because this was his opportunity to really, come back after that whole situation that happened a few years ago and really just show up and show out. And he had a good opportunity to. I really did like him during the season. And I think that he just rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. And once you're against this vacation alliance, it's done for you. But I think he also rubbed like rookies the wrong way and a lot of other people who were in the house that never really met him or knew him. And so once you do that, it's kind of like it's shot for you, like it's over. So I just think that This was the last time we see Turbo. And it's kind of bittersweet because it's like, damn, Turbo, I wanted you to win. I wanted you to do well. But you really put yourself in this situation. And now it's just like, you're never coming back.
Yeah, like, but he at least is not coming back as a champion. So he has that under his belt. So, um, but damn, like I really did like Turbo, and like I hate this for him, but I nothing else. But yeah, that's how we ended the episode with that conversation leading into Turbo's appearance in the part two, which we honestly didn't even need. Like this could have been a 1 hour or 90-minute show. Because when I was looking watching it back, it was only a 40-minute show with commercials. We
I
didn't
mean, I don't
need.
know if you know how TV works, Megan, but
Yeah,
that's how
no.
it typically goes. Like an
Yeah,
hour
no.
show is literally only 43 minutes, and then the rest of the freaking 17 minutes are commercials and ads. Completely understand. But I just think that for the past couple of seasons with the 90 minutes, it's just been killing because, bro, it's 90 minutes and it feels like absolutely nothing has happened. Like no progress has been made, no storylines have been added on to. It's just literally the formatting is just terrible now. Like I miss the days of it being 30 minutes an hour and you get 45 minutes of just pure like challenge, elimination, hookups, fights, parties, like everything literally happened in 1 hour. You're like, damn, I kind of need to rewatch this to kind of figure out what I just watched. And now you watching it for 90 minutes for basically an hour and 10 minutes. And it's like, dude, this this didn't have nothing.
I just want to know what the heck we gonna watch on a part two. Like, really get the Turbo stuff. I mean, what else do y'all want from us? Oh, but we do need to get content about Amber and Chauncey. I think we're gonna get some of that on part two with Nelson and Reese, and then the part of I think Mariah and Anissa going back and forth. That's
Oh,
gonna
I
be
did.
that's gonna be funny.
I gotta see the context behind how that really goes down because
We
I
would have chopped
mean,
it. It was weird because
yeah,
like they show like oh what Mariah said, and then like Anissa's reaction. So I'm like,
yeah.
I don't know if that was directed to Anissa, but if it was, Mariah has moved up on my list for good people. But yeah, I'm like that's those are the only things I can really think of that will be on part two. That's really it. So that doesn't know only the storylines to really hit. We got all the main ones this episode though, so I'm like we don't need part two. But it is what it is. So we're gonna get into the tweets from the episode. There are a lot that I actually did like save, but I'm gonna pick out the ones that I think we need to talk about or to highlight. The first tweet, where is it? Okay. I didn't like how Tori basically screamed at Jordan to apologize. My petty ass would not with that tone.
That's facts. I feel like she definitely did, and he didn't want to make it any worse by probably embarrassing her further because after that whole situation that happened, and I don't know how well they came back to each other in the house. Like they seem cordial, but yeah, it's no way. I feel like she give off weird vibes anyway. Ain't nobody yelling, girl. And she had that. First of all, that outfit was so whack, bro. Like she had on that terrible ass jumpsuit, and them shoes and sneakers. She didn't pull it off. Like it was just so ass, bro.
It was. I it didn't work. Like the top part didn't work with the bottom. and it was mess. We should do fashion police next week on all the looks.
Hated it.
I will say Amber's outfit. I saw a photo of someone on the runway wearing it, and she pulled it off. So props to her for that. The next tweet is I'm sorry. Bronze. It drips bronze, Raven, and she said that of her whole chest too. Like not third place finish.
Yeah, nobody wants to have a third place pussy. Like, ma'am, I don't know why she thought she ate with that comment. But come on now. Like, that's what I said. She needs to her if she was gonna try to clap back, she needed to think of something else because bro. Yo, having a bronze P is crazy. Like, that is so wild.
Her comeback is giving Giselle on Potomac.
Is Jamal coming?
Ooh, okay. I'm gonna do two more because this is actually funny. Um, Jordan, Bananas, and Devin are the absolute worst creatures on this planet. OMG. Michelle was making extremely valid points regarding the audience interfering with eliminations, and they all just shouted over her like bumbling, threatened idiots.
Yo, calling them creatures is funny. Oh man, that's facts though. It's straight facts.
Yeah, but like y'all cannot let nobody talk for nothing. And it's the same way how Devin just yelled at her over Amber. And I'm like, sir, where's your energy for men like this? You only do this with women. You need help. Seek help, please. Um Okay, actually I lied. We got two more. Because I said a lot and I want to get to them. So next one is it's hard to see. It's not hard to see why Nerese has been a perpetual side chick. She was a little too quick to get nasty with Raven and act like she's better than her. I agree with Raven. Emotional neglect is poor partnership and has zero to do with physical, which is facts. Because you don't need to be you as a partner. You have to be there for them emotionally. She needed at the end of the day, Raven needed a friend. Johnny was not that to her. That's all she needed. She didn't need to be physical with that man. Just needed a friend. He couldn't do that.
Absolutely. And Nerese is a pick me, so we already know how that's gonna go.
Yeah. Okay, this is the last tweet I wanted to get to. And it's coming from the problematic favorite of this season. It is easy to be brave from a safe distance. Front of to me how they are. Can you guess who this is?
No, what's that English? Say that again.
It is easy to be brave from a safe distance. Front of the me how they are.
Front of the me?
In front, I think Turbo was trying to say in front of me. This is how they are.
Oh, it's Turbo. I'm like, clearly English is not the first language. Because I'm like, what are you saying, bro?
And the photo accompanying it is him sitting. It was at Turbo's farm with I think this is Devin's face on a woman in front of him with everybody's faces on chickens. I would see this photo. You need to see the visual. And that is the last tweet. Because at the end of the day, to all of them, they are chickens to the Turbo. So
I mean, it's all about perception. So, perception is your reality. Okay, because I think that Michelle was like, perception is reality. No, your perception is your reality, sweetie. Okay. Anyway, that is the end of the episode. We will be back to talk about part 2 of this reunion next week. Thank you guys for listening. You can follow our Twitter page at Duel Lines Pod. You can follow Megan's page at Megan Hines. You can follow my page at ace_s5. And you can follow our YouTube at Duel Lines Podcast. I, I think it's Duel Lines Podcast. And we'll be back next week to talk more about the challenge. And yeah, it's gonna keep going. Like the content is just gonna keep going up and up and up because there's more and more coming out. So see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.